we hesitated a lot more on Split. I think Split as a map is already like kind of like, it can feel like a brick wall. And when we played against Sen today, obviously it felt like a brick wall. So I think a lot of that came down to we're not keeping track of where people are on the map, if they have certain abilities up or not. And then we weren't looking to like kind of pounce in situations where we needed to. And as a result of that, it kind of snowballed.
Hey guys, this is Pedro back with another interview, this time covering VCT Americas Stage 1 2025 for Week 1. My guest at this time is Zikz, the head coach of 100 Thieves, coming off of their match against Sentinels, losing 2-1 to thus continue on in said competition. So Zikz, thank you so much for the opportunity for this interview. I mean, there's really no need for me to ask you how you're feeling because losing 13-1 obviously must be feeling really tough. But I want to tweak it to a different version. What's going through your mind coming off of that series?
What's coming off of my mind is looking at the positives. I'll say across the board, I think almost every single team is having some sort of issues outside of maybe like G2, maybe a few other teams in terms of like role identity or like just identity crisis, I'll say. And to be honest, like there's a lot of comps, in my opinion, that you can play in this current, map pool. And I would say that like a lot of teams have different approaches, and a lot of teams are trying to figure out what works best for them. Basically, our read was, with kickoff. Basically, kickoff was an important test for us to kind of understand if the direction we were taking was going to be good for us long term. Ultimately, we ended up kind of like changing that identity. And I think over the last few weeks, we kind of had that realization and started building toward that identity. Obviously, we're a very aggressive team. So looking at the pros of that game, I would say we definitely showed a lot of aggression. Split attack, I would say, was by far, obviously our worst half throughout the entire series. But looking like holistically across every single map, Pearl, we had a lot of really good aggression on defense and proactivity. We ended up, putting ourselves in multiple like 5v3s, 4v2s that we ended up tossing back to the opponent. To me, a lot of this match was, especially the first two maps, just us having them like by the balls and then us like just letting them do what they want, essentially, or us tossing it back into their favor. And for me, after map one, I'm thinking like we're in a good spot because realistically, map one, it's 13-5. Like it's easy to point at the score and be like, yeah, well, look, 13-5. Like they should lose. It should feel like a stomp. But in reality, if you go watch the rounds back, it's like we put ourselves in a 5v3. We lose that round because of some over-aggression. We just went a little too crazy, And the reality of Valorant, right, is like you lose one round, it can turn into 2 lost rounds because of ecos, right? So like basics kind of go into the equation here. It's like if we had a 4v2 and we lost, and our next round was going to be, either an eco or it's going to be another gun round or it's going to be an eco for them or another gun round for them. The snowball is 2 rounds. That 1 round costed you 2 rounds. This is our Pearl. This happened multiple times on our Pearl. I think it happened 3 or 4 times on our Pearl that we got the first blood, 2-man advantage, and we just threw it back. So I would say, like, for us, the positives are we're taking the right path that we feel is best for us now. It took us a little bit to kind of figure it all out and understand that. But it feels like we're on the right path, and it feels like we are taking the right steps. Like, we're definitely being way more proactive now again. We're kind of getting back into our old form a bit, and you'll see it in moments. And I think that, if you look back at our kickoff, we were definitely like way more shook. We were way less confident, and just the way that we played in kickoff, honestly, it was like a different team, right? We had these moments that looked really good, similar to how today we had these moments that looked really, really good. But we also had moments, at least now, where it's like we're doing too much, where we can tune it back a little bit rather than it being like kickoff where we were like a little too shook, low confidence, not taking the duels that we need to take. We were a lot more proactive, a lot more like trying to take map space, trying to like choke the opponent out, try to be aggressive, and it was giving us a lot of advantages, but we just end up, not converting around. So basically, Pearl Haven both looked, in my eyes, like we're on the right track. Now, I won't say the results I'm happy with, obviously, for Pearl, but we're at least on the right track. For Split, I think Split was a lot of it was like some information stuff that we didn't really do well. There was a lot of stuff that we overlooked in terms of like, I'll just simplify and say agent names. Like when we found gaps in what we should be doing, we didn't abuse it. When we had a good position, we didn't like basically force our way through. And we hesitated a lot more on Split. I think Split as a map is already like kind of like, it can feel like a brick wall. And when we played against Sen today, obviously it felt like a brick wall. So I think a lot of that came down to we're not keeping track of where people are on the map, if they have certain abilities up or not. And then we weren't looking to like kind of pounce in situations where we needed to. And as a result of that, it kind of snowballed slowly. Because we had, once again, I think there was like 3 or 4 rounds on Split that I saw that was like, we had winning positions, we just needed to go. And then we didn't. We didn't take the timing we needed to fight. Pistol, we could have crunched a Heaven. When we had all of the Heaven space on A, and they ran out with 4, we had nobody like holding util to like be able to punish. There was just a lot of gaps in the way that we were playing. The small little details that we're really confident on Split, to be honest, as a team, and we definitely should have been able to win this match. But the details weren't there today, especially on attack Split. And I mean defense, like we don't even get an opportunity to show it because we lost pistol. So I mean not much you can do there. It's like, once again, I think even that pistol, we ended up throwing that pistol because I think we had a man advantage as well. So yeah, to me, some good signs, some bad signs. It's like we built a lot of advantages for ourselves. That's what I'll say is my reflection. We built a lot of advantages. If we can continue being proactive, if we can continue understanding that our proactivity is our identity and that it builds our advantages, we'll get more confident at doing it, and we'll pounce on these teams harder and play more confident, and it'll work out. I mean, yeah, for me, it's like, yeah, we just need to convert the rounds. Honestly, we need to convert the rounds, and then certain map pool things that we have to figure out. But yeah.
Appreciate the walkthrough through all of the 3 maps in series. I really do appreciate that, Zikz. One thing you kind of pointed out that I want to put into focus regarding your answers, sort of the change in identity, and it reminds me of a conversation that I had with Asuna before the start of stage 1, and in a way doing that kind of change is understandable in the sense that it's important to take a different direction when the opportunity needs it to be, or the situation needs there to be. But on the other hand, there's this chance of like it kind of leading to worse results, and in a season like this in the VCT, it might lead to just sort of things not working out at the start, and it's snowballing up, continuing and affecting the team for the rest of the season. So what I'm trying to ask you, Zikz, is why make the change in direction? With in understanding of like the consequences that it might lead. Be it short term and long term.
I think that in the short and long term, the direction that we're going is definitely better. Like outright, like just had a strong realization. It's like I don't want to give away too much the specific identity stuff, but like a lot of it is like comp based and just people's comfortability. I guess like a layer of that you can see is like our Haven, for example, today. Obviously, we're very proactive, very aggressive, and we found a lot of advantages off of that. Not being afraid to like take a lot of risk, basically. And our Haven looked like incredible. It looked really good, honestly. There was some rounds that we threw once again, but like even in those rounds, like I can point to the number of rounds that I felt like pressured by Sentinels today on these maps. And honestly, like split attack was like the most pressuring for us to play, and then it didn't feel that pressuring outside of it, to be honest. Like it felt like almost every other round we were kind of like in the upper hand, or like that we had a 50-50 shot of winning the round, but we just ended up not converting. So I'm definitely very confident in the direction. Us as a team, we definitely kind of agreed upon it. And to your point, I mean, yeah, changing direction, or like just to be transparent, it's not like we're changing so much that like, it's gonna like kill everybody's confidence, or like, completely warp the way that people view the game. It's like more so we're like just kind of rediscovering ourselves. Yeah, some comps that we played weren't really our style. Some maps, like we were trying to do things that like don't really make sense for our team. It's just like there's just little things, to be honest, and we ultimately are just leaning on a lot of comfort and making sure that basically people don't have to think too hard. People can kind of like play with their instinct, and we just need to like kind of shape it, is the best way I can put it. It's like we have a lot of aggression. We brought a lot of action and proactivity today. We just have to mold that a bit, make sure that we convert these rounds cleanly. There's a lot of rounds, like low number situations, we got to look back at. Last year, we were fucking incredible in the low number situations. This match obviously wasn't the case. So got to definitely go back to the drawing board in regards to that topic. But yeah, in terms of like the 5v5 open aggression productivity, like we were very, very on top of it today outside of split.
I understand that like making this kind of changes is done for the long term, not the short term. And and when it comes to looking at things in the short term, people are going to be looking at the 13-1 result and just kind of magnify that and just say, "Hey, what's going on here?" It's kind of similar to like the early season struggle that you guys had last year in 2024, and like in the previous year, the squad was able to turn it around, make a Shanghai, do well, win stage one, and then continue on forward from there. And then there's also the potential for this squad to do this also. So what I want to ask you, Zix, is sort of what's the confidence level within the team, despite suffering this result, to bounce back and just kind of try to repeat what you guys achieved last year for this year?
We're definitely a very process-oriented team. I would say the overall spirit of the team, they understand the growth. Like our goal today was to make sure that we were proactive, to make sure that we were talking to one another, to make sure that we were taking action together. We were, pulling a teammate to come rewalk something, just no matter what, we were like constantly doing something and like pulling our teammates into some level of team play. And we saw it all throughout the day. So for me and the rest of the team, today was like, obviously not a good result, but it was a success in terms of that. And there's a lot of growth for us. I mean, last year, to be honest, like we played against Sen, Lev, and we got 0-2 out of kickoff. We come back, we play against Sen again. Our situation is almost exactly the same as last year. It's like we play Sen, MIBR, NRG. NRG, honestly, like the NRG series to me was one of the most important things for us to, we're supposed to lose this match, and we could have won it, honestly, but we had the wrong direction going into this in terms of understanding like us. It's like, was this direction the right direction that we needed to take? We learned that from NRG. That was pretty important for us. And as a result of that, it's like now we're coming into split one. I'm saying the same things I feel like I was saying last year. Last year at Sen, we rewatched our part of our Sen VOD from last year, our stage one match. And the reason was because we didn't, the way that we played on stage, we were super shook. When we were in an NRG match, we were super shook, low confidence, and we didn't take action. We weren't proactive. So today, our goal was, let's level up from last year. We're starting basically like one step ahead of where we were last year. In terms of like, guys, look at us last year. It's like right here. Do you guys remember what our takeaway was? It was we weren't proactive. We weren't trying to make plans. We weren't like forcing team play together. And then we learned, we have to learn how to rely on our teammates And that's what gives us confidence on stage. And today, I feel like that's like the snowball that's coming again. We worked on it throughout the entire day. We learned a lot about the team play and that our aggression works. So, like I said, a lot of good signs for me individually. I think that, yeah, like I said, I mean, both the map 1 and 2, honestly, map 1, I feel like we could have won, should have won, to be honest. If we converted those rounds, it's like I said at the beginning of the interview, it's like one round turns to two quickly, right? We force them on eco, like we play the anti-eco, like we win the round. And we put them in a lot of swing rounds where, they're 4v2 and they have hero plays. So to me, those are good signs. I think split, a bit of a red flag there. But yeah, I mean, in terms of the macro level of like the whole year, I definitely feel like we're in a good spot. Everybody on the team, when we talked, we got like a basic like confidence check from everyone, and everybody's very confident in the direction that we're taking. Obviously, some question marks around split. We didn't really, have the perfect solution, or we didn't find out how to beat them, on our attack. So obviously, we got to figure that out and kind of back to the drawing board a bit there. But outside of that, like I said, the macro side of things, it's like pro activity. We fucking crushed it today. Converting rounds, obviously fucking bad. Like I want to see my rounds converted, but like at the end of the day, it's some days it just comes like this. So it is what it is.
Yeah, definitely is indeed. Zikz, I'm gonna have to wrap up the interview right now. Really do appreciate the honesty, the insight, and all of the words regarding what happened today. Hopefully, you guys can bounce back in the future, man. So thank you so much, Zikz, and have a good rest of your day.
Thank you.